The following is a presentation of TFNN.
We're going to go to Tom in Colorado, who has been good enough to hold. Tom, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, Steve.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, you are Mr. Happy, I'll tell you.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, Steve, I've been listening to the station for over a few years now.
Yes.
And I'm a first-time caller to your show. And I'll tell you, I love the way you break down the charts and explain things, your patience with the callers, the way you articulate the Fibonacci's and what have you. I think you do a great job. You're a great addition to this news network.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Really do.
Yeah.
I can change the world. I will be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Baby, if I could change the world.
Let's go to a Dave in Boston. Hey, Dave, what's happening?
Hey, real quick, Steve, I got to tell you, man, you saved me yesterday because I had covered my short positions when I saw that mini rally and then they tanked the market, and then I didn't know whether to reshort at the close, and then when I got your video update, you totally gave me a game plan, and boy, did it work out.
Oh, that's great.
Kudos.
That's great.
Kudos, man. You were right on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And even after it came out last night, they reported that they had failed, and then the futures came down.
That's right.
And then they went up again, so,
That's
man,
right.
you were right on that.
Change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Baby, if I could change the world. Baby, if I could change the world. Baby, if I could change the world.
Let's go to our first caller. Let's go to Susan in Boca Raton. Susan, thanks for calling.
I just have to say one thing. I just recently subscribed to your Mastering Probabilities.
Oh, thank you.
You have put so much time and effort in it, and it shows.
It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters. Welcome to the October 2nd, wonderful Wednesday edition of today's opening bell on the Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and I absolutely treasure your presence here today. My outcome, as always, is to help you to become a better money master and to provide you with the tools that each of us need in order to lead an inspired life. Because leading an inspired life, folks, that's what it's all about. So let's go look at one of our tools. You know, today's tool, really more so I read a lot. I keep a lot of notes, and especially when they're empowering notes, you know, things that I've read in books. And so today's tool is really just taking a look at, I'm going to do this during both of the shows out here today, just taking a look at the different notes that I've written down with regard to leadership, because I think leadership is a pretty key thing, especially at a time like this. Well, it's really always a key thing. You know, it should be a key thing in your life out here. So here's a couple of different quotes that I've written down with regard to leadership. The first one goes like this. The challenge of leadership is to be strong, but not rude. Be kind, but not weak. Be bold, but not a bully. Be thoughtful, but not lazy. Be humble, but not timid. Be proud, but not arrogant. Have humor, but without folly out there. The second one I wrote down, you know, we must learn to help those who deserve it, not just those who need it. Life responds to deserve, not to need. You know, I know I've shared this with you. My mentor said, my mentor being my father, let's go do it, not you go do it. How powerful when someone says, let's. You ought to use that word let's more often in your life out there. These are qualities, in my opinion, these are qualities of leaders. And it's really important. You know, good people are found, not changed. Recently, I read a headline that said, we don't teach our people to be nice. We simply hire nice people. Now, what a clever shortcut. Think about that one, folks. How about a couple more? A good objective of leadership is to help those who are doing poorly to do well, and to help those who are doing well to do even better. Imagine if we lived, really, in a world where that was the thinking. A good objective of leadership is to help those who are doing poorly to do well, and help those who are doing well to do even better. Folks, that is absolutely leadership. You know, I've always said this, if you share a good idea long enough, it'll eventually fall on good people out there. So those are just some of the leadership, and I'm going to share more with you during the next hour. But, you know, when you use the word leadership, when I take a look at the word leadership, folks, it's really another word for being an influencer. And being an influencer is the most important role that you need to play in your life. You've got to be the most important influencer when it comes to trading out there. You've got to be able to influence yourself. You've got to be influencing your family members, your kids, your grandkids out there. You've got to learn to be a good influencer. Now, some of us are influenced by Fibonacci numbers. You know, maybe it's the 0.618 retracement. If you're watching us on TigerTV right now, you can take a look at my screen. You know that I'm influenced by what the Euro-Japanese yen is doing. And if you take a look at my chart, if you're watching us on TigerTV, thanks so much for doing that. Maybe you're listening on the radio or your mobile device at TFNN.mobi. Well, if you are, thank you for doing that. You can catch the archive of this show on Channel 9 Plus. You can always watch the live stream on your smartphone device. Now, if we take a look at the Euro-Japanese yen, pushed down real strong into the 0.618 retracement. So if you're influenced by Fibonacci numbers, that level was 131.44. Boy, got down there this morning, got down to a low of 131.39 out here. I'm influenced by the direction of the Euro-Japanese yen. You know what this is saying to us? Because if we go take a look at the intraday chart out here, we're going to see some big spikes. This is saying, guess what? Buying opportunity as the futures had pushed lower. Buying opportunity is what is screaming at us right now. If you were a person that was influenced by the direction of the Euro-Japanese yen. Here's the 30-minute chart out here. In fact, I put in a trade order. Now, I might have to adjust it because I put it in about 1675.50 out there just for a short-term trade. I'm going to just sit on it at the moment. But it was really a result of getting this rejection of price on the Euro-Japanese. Some of us are influenced not just by the Fibonacci numbers, but some are just simply influenced by price channels out there. Well, take a look at the intersection that took place here as we were getting ready to come into the show. This was at 9 o'clock here this morning as we saw price during that half-hour session. So it was during that 8:30 to 9 time frame out here where price moved right down into that rising price channel of this 30-minute chart here of the Euro-Japanese yen, as well as the bottom of this little sub-correction channel, and boy, bounced off of it like a trampoline. Now, our futures markets here haven't exactly taken off to the upside just yet. That is a beautiful thing. That's if you were influenced by rising price channels, descending price channels, whatever it might be. If you're influenced by retracement levels, it's just a matter of being able to put it all together for you. You got the Dow futures right now. If we take a look at where they're at, so here's an interesting call. You got the Dow futures right now down to what 75 points, I believe. The S&P futures down 11 from last night's close. The NASDAQ futures are up 19. Russell 2000 down about 10. King dollar off 30 ticks. We've seen, obviously, movement in the currency market. We've just taken a look at one of those areas here. If we take a look at Goldilocks, that's up a nice $15 right now. Of course, if you were an influencer, if you were influenced by Fibonacci numbers, if we go take a look at what Goldilocks did here this morning, did in the overnight hours. Let's see, where is the, here we go, got the continuous contract for gold. If we take a look at the Fibonacci number of 1276, well, let me do this here. Hold on a second. Let me delete this. Let's take a look at the retracement so you can see it. We're going to come off of the low back down here. Let's see, we were at 1179.40, the trading session of June 30th, all the way up to the high that was put in here on August 28th. That's going to give us our, we'll make it a little bit dark out there, that's going to give us our 0.618 retracement number. The exact number is 1276.70. And what gold got down to last night, 1276.90. 1276.90 versus 1276.70. 20 cents, folks. Are you kidding me? Now, I'm not saying take the trade here. Depends what kind of trader you are, what type of investor you are. I'm just suggesting that that being an influencer is absolutely your most important skill that you need to refine in life. And, of course, being an influencer means you've got to have great leadership qualities out there, all of which I know you do have. And when your patterns set up, whatever they are, you've got to learn to be able to go ahead and pull those triggers. So as we take a look at gold, look, gold broke through that B point yesterday, which was 1291.50. He actually had a close out there at 1287.60. On late volume, 119,000 contracts versus 136,000. We may have an A to B equals CD down. When you get to a level, just like getting off of an elevator, one of those floors on the levels, on the retracement areas, are 0.618. When you get to that 0.618 area, guess what? Folks are going to get off the elevator. In this case here, folks that were on the down elevator were going to get off. They're going to go ahead and start taking some of their profits. They're going to cover some of their short positions. It is just simply normal out there in the marketplace. So that's what's going on with Goldilocks. If we go take a look at silver, I believe I've got that in this area too as well. If we take a look at silver, let's go see what kind of retracement Hi-Ho Silver did coming off of its lows out here. We take a look at that. That would be the low out here coming in on June 28th. That's at the price point of $18.18. We go all the way up to that high on August 28th. We'll see that the 0.68 level is $20.83. Silver actually got down to $20.63 out there. And we're seeing a bit of a bounce inside silver. Look, in order to potentially get long silver, you would need, in my opinion, now I'm talking, let's make sure I got the time frames here. Talking more on a longer-term basis, more like on a daily chart basis out here, you'd want to see a close above 21.97 to give you any kind of confirmation. Now, volume yesterday, 33,000 contracts, taking out 34,500 contracts out there. 34,500 contracts. So silver also breaking a swing point with lighter volume. And that's something that you and I, that is absolutely something that we want to see out there in the marketplace. Our call-in number is 877-927-6648. Let's go to Lou in Nashua. Lou, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you this morning?
Fine. How are you?
Excellent.
I got a question. I'm already in natural gas, and I'm just wondering to add a position here.
Go ahead.
Futures contract.
Yeah, I don't have the. Go ahead.
The EG Mini.
EG Mini. Well, when I take a look at the December contract for natural gas, when we spoke the other day, you've got that nice hammer candle, so you've got some good support at that 362 level. I don't have a confirmation yet on this as a buy pattern, so I wouldn't, for my trading plan, I wanted a confirmation. That confirmation was a close above 3.769, and we haven't seen that. You're trading above it, but every time it gets up there, by the close, it rejects that area. So I would just sit tight with what you've got, Lou. We'll be right back, folks.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or TigerTV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. with the launch of TigerTV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzamento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Investors, Taz Market Research delivers to its subscribers expert commentary on the analysis of 15 different markets each day. Get this invaluable and timely information through the daily market research videos Taz Market Research produces each day before 9 a.m. The video analysis will include reports on currencies, interest rates, indices, metals, energies, grains, and more. You'll be able to gauge where high profitability setups are in each of the markets. Receive a free 2-week trial subscription to Taz Market Research videos on the front page of TFNN.com. Steve takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks, across the globe here. Right now, the DAX is off about 50 points, down a little over 0.5%. Same thing with the FTSE. That's off about 0.6%, down about 42 points. Over in Asia last night, the Nikkei down big, down over 2% off 314 points. The Hang Seng, though, up 124 points. That was up nearly a little over 0.5%. The Shanghai up 0.6%, up $15 out there. As we take a look here at the Dow futures, so we're going to look at the weak link inside our markets. It is clearly the Dow out here that is the weak link. What we can see, we're taking a look at the futures contract. One of the things that we can see is I'm looking at both a trend line. It is, we took a look at this chart yesterday. We'll take a look at it as long as it has meanings. And so if you can take a look at the blue channel lines that you're looking at, those are channel lines coming off of the lows all the way back in 2011, the October 4th low that was put out there. So I'm using the open of that body on October the 4th is really my first touch point. You've got a little, looks like a nice little morning star reversal pattern that took place back here in June of 2012. And so the open of those candles are really my next touch point. So that's the bottom that formed the rising price channel. There's also a little trend line that I am using. That's the black diagonal line that you're looking at on my screen. That's coming off of the low from November 16th. And we can see how it has intersected right inside the area where prices traveled down to. So we had movement down 2 days ago. That was on Monday. Didn't quite get down there. You can see that what the Dow futures have done here overnight into the morning session here is they've come down and they've tested that area. Now, had a nice little confirmation yesterday that price actually wants to move higher inside the Dow. So all that we're seeing at the moment is testing. Now, because we take a look at this, we can see here where prices broken through this channel line once before. It did it back in November of 2012, and that's where the trend line ended up being formed from on that November 16th area. So a break of this area, in my opinion, would be serious consequences out here. Now, where that would take us to at first would take us all the way back to the horizontal swing points, taking you back to the 14,740-ish level. This is on the futures. Right now it's at 15,044. So you got 14,740, 750 we'll call it. That's about another 300-point move to the downside if, in fact, these trend line and channel lines get broken. But I can tell you, because I do take a look at the influencing of the Euro-Japanese yen, because it paints the direction of what the U.S. markets are going to do better than any other currency pair out there. And this morning, that Euro-Japanese yen, well, if you're influenced by a 0.618 retracement, it hit that, it tagged it, and it is moving higher. In fact, it is threatening to form a hammer candle. Now, in order for that to occur today, what this would need to do is close somewhere around the 132.60 level out there, and that's what you like to see. You like to see some type of reversal signal, some type of reversal candle taking place at some other pattern level that's out in the marketplace. In this case here, though, you could use the 0.618 as one of those pattern levels. Of course, you know that we're always paying attention, or I'm always paying attention to the candlesticks. They influence me because they are clearly giving us the emotion of fear and greed of bulls and bears. There's nothing better out there than understanding what the candlesticks are communicating to us. And that wide-ranging bar to the upside on September 19th, the low of which has been tested and retested, and again being tested here as we speak today, the low of which is 132.30, really until that level is broken. And it was tried, it was tested, so far has not been broken. This says that the euro, Japanese yen, wants to move to higher price, folks. Says it wants to move up into the 135.68 level. That's what would put fuel inside our markets in order for them to actually go ahead and complete and to form the A to B equals CD patterns that they have inside the marketplace that they already confirmed back on Uncle Ben Day just last week. So that's what it's looking like here on the daily chart inside the markets. And that's what the futures here being down. Dow futures right now are off about 74 points. The S&P is down about 10.5. Doesn't mean you have to take the trade right here. You got to make sure that if you are, that you've got some quick fingers and you know what it is that you're looking at with regard to support and resistance levels. But this is how I take a look at putting the entire market together here, because I want to know what is going on inside that currency market. I want to understand what's going on inside the futures market out there to see if price is moving into a logical level of support. Because let's face it, folks, if you went back and you took a look at this futures contract here, if you took a look at where were the best places to buy from, isn't it really the best place to buy from are when it's coming down into one of these support levels here? Because if it breaks it, you know you're wrong on the trade, and it will be time to get out. 877-927-6648. We get back. Let's go see how these markets are going to drop and whether or not they're going to pop. We'll be right back, folks.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
To the races. We got the Dow down 88 points, trade out at 15,104. S&P down 11 at 1684. Composite down 22 points at 37.96. Russell 2000 off 7 points at 1080 out there. Apple's down $3 and change. Microsoft up 4 pennies. Google up 3.50. Cisco down 16 pennies. The leader in the clubhouse to the upside is Global Payments Inc. GPN is their ticker symbol. They're up a nice 7% this morning, up $3.80, gapping up and doing it with some pretty nice volume behind it. We'll take a look at that stock chart here momentarily. You've got Autodesk, ADSK. Haven't looked at that stock for a while. We're going to do that this morning. It's up 3%, up $1.31. Manpower Group, MAN, up about 12%. Up 2% this morning. Up 12% is Rockwell Medical, RMTI is that ticker symbol. A Lot Communications up 10% this morning, up $1.23. We've got, let's see here, Tim Partisa, boy, I can't figure that one out. TSU, we'll just go with TSU, is the ticker symbol. They're up about 2.5%, which is up about 60 cents. To the downside, we've got Tesla Motors leading the charge. The downside off $4. That's down 2%. I believe somebody went ahead and said to move them to neutral from a buy. Of course, that has been a rocket ship. Google down $3.50, Apple off $3 and change, Amazon down $2.50, Monsanto, MON is a ticker symbol, down about 2% and $2. TK Long Partners or LNG Partners, TGP is a ticker symbol. They're down 4%. Whirlpool, WHR, that's been a heck of a looking stock out there. That's off about 1% this morning. McDonald's, MCD is the ticker symbol. They're down about 1%, a little over 1% this morning. Our call number 877-927-6648. Let's start off by taking a look at some of these stocks here that are popping and dropping. We're going to start here with Global Payments. I don't see any news necessarily behind it. Let me see if they were out with any numbers. It looks like they have raised their guidance. No, I got Q1 revenues. Here we go. Quarter one revenues, $629 million versus $590 million. So they are growing the top line out here. On the earnings, I don't see the net income. Why doesn't? Hey, there we go. $64 million versus $46. Hey, that's a nice way to be dyslexic. Go ahead and take $46 million from the prior year and turn that into $64 million. That's a beautiful thing. So they're getting rewarded here this morning, gapping up with some volume behind it. 942,000 shares thus far. Let's pull this thing back further, see what it's trading into, if anything. Oh, it's trying to break out over its highs, so it looks like. Let's go take a look at this on a longer-term chart. Let's put this on the weekly chart, see what we can see out here for global. How about this? This thing really is trying to break out. The actual high looks like the all-time high goes back to 2006. We'll put a black line across the chart out here. I'll pull this back. Let me see if we can take a look at the candle formation out here real quickly. What do we got? Is that a shooting star? Looks very close to a shooting star. That's up at the highs. Again, that was the weekly chart. March 24, 2006, the high there, 54.78, volume of about 2.5 million shares. You can see each time up into this area it has acted as resistance. By each time, folks, I mean it came up here back in November of 2009. Was also up at these highs back in January of 2010. The last attempt to get up and over this was area was back here in April of 2012. 15 million shares up there. So far for the week, of course, I don't have today's volume in it. You're looking at about 3.5 million shares out there. So this thing is really trying to break out. If we take a look at where would this thing, as far as a consolidation pattern that this might be in, I'd say from the $40 to the $54. So if it can break out above this $54 level, it's probably looking at about a $68 run out there in the marketplace. That is on Global Payments, Inc. That is the leader in the clubhouse, and it is trying to break out. We've got, let's see, we don't need the pro shares. Let's take a look at, let's see, dollar-wise to the upside. Boy, not a lot. We've got ACT is the ticker symbol, Actavius, ACT. I think there was a couple others that I saw in there. Autodesk. I wanted to take a look at Autodesk just to see what that is doing, have a look at that chart. But in any event, we're going to start off here with Activist. ACT is the ticker symbol. It's up about $1.66. It's up over some highs. Now take a look at that volume spread. This is back on the trading session of September 30th, so last Friday. Big volume. Not exactly wide price spread, but big volume. So you've got this thing should have some pretty nice support at the 142.06 level. That is the low of September 30th. I would not want this stock, if you were in this stock, do not let this stock get below 142.06 out there, because then you got more of a seller. Then you have a buyer out here. But not a bad-looking stock chart. Let's take a look at a little bit longer-term view of this equity here. See if there's any patterns that we can identify. I suppose if you were going to try to figure out the A to B equals CD, let's do this on the monthly chart. That might be a little bit easier to look at here. And on the monthly chart, let's see what it's actually doing and completing. So the lows out here that we're taking us back to are back in 2008, November 30th, 2008, $20.19. And that would be your A point. B point, September 30th, 2011, 73.35. And right down here, no real retracement, but coming back into the January 31st time frame. So this thing is on its way up into the price level of probably about 161. It's trading right now at 146.79 out there. Let's go take a look at Autodesk. ADSK is the ticker symbol. Let's go see what it is doing. Still up here this morning, although I think it's dropped off of my list. So it did. You can see that it was on my list as it was making its highs, and it was trying to take out its most recent swing point, which takes us back to the September 26th. So this has completed a 1 to 2, A to B equals CD. When you complete a 1 to 2, A to B equals CD, you do something different, move sideways. You can see it was also inside the overbought territory. So really just working sideways. Not too bad out here. Now this doji is a little troubling because a doji at a resistance level has a ton of meaning out here. Of course, in order for this to finish as a doji candle today, it would have to actually close where it's at right now, about 41.31, 41.29 in that area. But let's take a look at this on a little bit longer-term time frame, Autodesk. And not too shabby. Let's go take a look at the weekly chart and see what it is doing out here. Oh, I didn't really want that. Let me load default. There we go. And let's put in both of the RSIs. There we go. So we take a look at the weekly chart. What we can see here, it's been consolidating. Right now it's up over its... Well, it closed last week. It closed over its swing point high, which was from March 22nd. That had 12.4 million shares, and last week it closed over it on 19. Hey, not too shabby. This is actually on the weekly chart here for Autodesk is actually setting up an A to B equals CD up. Now, the 8 point that we would use out here, then there's a couple of A to B equals CDs that we can take a look at. So let's look at this little shorter term one. Let's take a look at the A to B equals CD that would start from August 24th. That low, $27.70. And the high, again, this is a weekly chart we're looking at, would be March 22nd, 2013. That high was 41.42, 12.4 million shares. I'll go ahead and put the volume sign across the bottom of my screen out here. So here's an equity that's got a confirmed A to B equals CD up, maybe courtesy of Uncle Ben, I don't know. But let's put that, we'll use a red line going across the screen so you can see the B point here from last week. You can see the volume on it. Let's go ahead and put that B point across the screen here with the red line as well. So this says that Autodesk actually wants to try to trade up to the price point of $46.75 out there. And that'll take it all the way back into the May of 2011 highs. It was actually 46.15. So the A to B equals CD is a little bit above that level. $50.44, which would be your 1 to 1.272, would take it all the way back into its 2008 highs. Now, another A to B equals CD pattern, which it has not confirmed, it could this week, would be getting above and closing above April 6th with only 11.8 million shares. So let's take a look at what that would do. Your A point would be the swing low from August 19, 2011, out of 22.99. That's your A point. Your B point on this other A to B equals CD is going to be your April 6th high. That's 42.69. So it closed this week above that would be a confirmation so long as it was on volume exceeding 14 million shares. And you were coming up into that swing point last week with 19 million shares. So it seems like that is a logical thing to occur with inside of Autodesk. That 1-to-1 A to B equals CD is what would take it to the 52.83 level. So I would say Autodesk looks like it's on its way to the 50.37, 52.83 level, and it is not in a overbought condition. So it's got some room to run after it. And this is on the weekly chart that we're looking at when I'm saying it's not in its overbought condition. So not looking too bad out there, with the exception it does have some high volume, low swing points out here. But these high volume, low swing points have been tested, and they were tested on light volume out here. And they've been tested, not the bottom of the swing points, but at least the tops of the swing points have been tested. So that was on Autodesk. Let's go check in on some movers to the downside. I see we've got Google moving to the downside here. That's a leader in the clubhouse. That's off $3 and change. So let's go see what Google is doing out here this morning. Really just an inside day, so not a big deal here with its move down. Yesterday it moved higher with volume of about 1.6 million shares. Of course, if you are a believer in Fibonacci numbers, what Google did was if the retracement of its last move was the 618 retracement. Take a look at that. We're going from the low out here of August 30th, 845.56, all the way to the highs that were put in on September 19th out at 905.99. You go from that low to the high, and the 0.618 retracement level, 868.64. Now, what Google actually did 2 days ago was it got to 868.31. 868.31 versus 868.64 before price slows down and stops moving south. How does that work, folks? How did Leonardo Fibonacci come up with? Well, I know I came up with it. It's just you watch it happen over and over and over again. And if we take a look at the volume, as that price was moving back on September 30th, you had 1.7 million shares. 1.7 million shares was coming in at 2 million shares. That was the candle session from September 4th, not enough to bust it down. Moved up yesterday with similar volume as it had, a little bit higher volume actually than it had on that trading session from Friday out there. Today, not really that big of a deal. Yes, it has, in essence, it's gapped down from the close of yesterday, but still just an inside candle session out here. As I said, we still have to be concerned about, a little bit concerned about Google, but only when it breaks this hammer candle all the way back here from June the 6th. If it breaks that hammer candle, then what we will see is an A to B equals CD down. But that hammer candle is acting as a very strong support level, and that price is 847.22 out there. So that is on Google. Let's take a look at, we've got Team Inc. TISI is the ticker symbol. That is trading to the downside here this morning. Let's go see if that's a gap or what it is. TISI, down about 11% here. Oh, yeah, it is a gap down, and it's got some volume behind it. Looks like they were out with earnings as well. Let's go see what they reported. See if I can locate their revenue numbers out here. Looks like, well, they've announced a $25 million stock repurchase plan. They did revenues of $174 million versus $161, so they beat the top line out there. If we take a look at net income, let's see if I can find the net income. And, of course, it's not sticking out, so let's forget that. But let's take, well, how about this? You got this high-volume low out here. And, you know, when you're looking at the stock chart, the very first thing you want to do, start with a naked chart. That means with nothing on it whatsoever, with the exception of the candles and volume, because you want to take a look at those things that are just simply sticking out at you. In the case of TISI, which is Team Inc., it's got a high volume low out here. Big downdraft. You know, take a look at volume off the top. This thing has had it twice. Well, I guess what we can say is now it's had it 3 times. Third time is the charm. The very first time here was when this equity closed the evening session of March 14th. Closes up at the high of 46.50. Closes the very next day with volume of 1.2 million shares. By the way, that close on that trading session of March 14th, 73,000 shares. And then what happens? March 15th, very next trading session, down with 1.2 million shares. Are you kidding me? 73,000 on the upside, 1.3 million to the downside. If that's not screaming, look out below, well, what happens? Price tries to make itself back. It does not get inside the gap out there. You know, gave you a little bonus on the trading session of May 16th by getting up to 42.65. And then on May 20th, ba-boom, even more volume to the downside, 1.4 million shares to the downside versus 1.2 million shares to the downside. That got down to a low of $34.64. That level is being attacked here as we speak this morning. Yesterday it closed at a price point of $40. So far right now, it's trading at $35.45. Volume on this thing, about 200,000 shares in the first 18 minutes of trading out there. This equity, if it can take out this low from the trading session of May 21st, that low being 34.75, will set up an A to B equals CD down in the marketplace. That is on Team Inc. We've got, let's see here, who else? Big. Let's go take a look at Monsanto. MON is the ticker symbol. Let's go see what they are trading at and doing. They're down about 3% here this morning. Let's go see what kind of volume or anything is behind this move. Now, Monsanto must have looked at it for a caller because I don't recall pulling it up. When we get back from this break, we'll go take a look at Monsanto. Right now, we've got the Dow off 116, the S&P down 10, trade out at 1684. A quick peek in on the Euro-Japanese yen out there, still holding up okay. We'll be right back, folks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Are you ready to ride the next bull market wave? Catch the Chapman Wave. Using the Chapman Wave methodology, Basil's very comprehensive daily newsletter, The Opening Call, gives the short, intermediate, and long-term analysis for the key indexes. In his Trader's Corner, he gives a brief market summary and expectation for the day with possible trades, both long and short, which are reviewed daily. A position. Subscribers sold recently for plus 42% on part and plus 64% on rest. Had Hertz Global as a core position for 6 months. A current position entered as a turnaround company is trading over 100% of its entry point as a portion sold earlier for a plus 21% gain. Subscribers to the Opening Call see the Chapman Wave techniques demonstrated and explained daily to also educate investors. Now you can get a free 2-week trial. Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Have you subscribed to the Gold Report yet? On Wednesday, August 14th and Thursday, August 15th, Tom O'Brien advised his Gold Report subscribers to close out 6 of their 9 open positions, all winning trades ranging from a 10.69% profit to an incredible 48% profit in just one equity. With the 600th weekly Gold Report issue fast approaching, Tom O'Brien brings an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to the gold market and the equities within the industry. That's almost 12 years since this powerful newsletter first began. And right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Gold Report by visiting TFNN.com. Make sure you're a subscriber as this volatile gold market makes its way back into positive territory after declining all the way from $1,900 to under $1,200 an ounce in only 2 years. Get your 30-day free trial today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Dow down about 100 points, trading out at 15,091. S&P is off about 9. And let's go check in. I had a request to take a look at Hovnanian. HOV is the ticker symbol. So let's go take a look at that stock, see what it is doing in the marketplace. Let's go take a look at it on a couple of different time frames. So HOV, let's start off by taking right now it's trading at $5.24 out here. Let's take a look. Let me pull this back and take a look at the weekly chart first. So let's do that. Let's put up the weekly chart, see if we can see if there's any bulls or bears hanging out on this equity. You can see that it's really just been traveling sideways here for quite some time. I'd say, when I say quite some time, since the August time frame out there. So as we take a look, so very small-bodied candles out here, of course. This should have some pretty good support at this bullish engulfing candle right down here. So I don't know if the listener was long, short, or what have you. But if we take a look at the low that came in on April 19th, the market here, in the case of Hovnanian, made a nice run, made a little bit more than a 1 to 2 A to B equals CD up. Had some nice volume, too, by the way, on that trading session of December 21st. Markets don't end on trading sessions like that, so for a couple of weeks it just simply moved sideways out there. You did get a little bit of volume off the top, a little bit of profit taking here on January 18th, so that's where you've got some resistance. That's your supply line that you can see out here. You can see prices never made it above that area since that time frame, and that area being $6.50. So any long trades inside of Hovnanian, it's going to find turbulence and resistance somewhere near that 650 level. We can just see that by taking a look at volume and taking a look at the past patterns and the behavior inside this equity. Now, what it did was it looks like it made an A to B equals CD down on the weekly, or maybe that hasn't completed. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it did not complete, which would take it down to about 413. But the bulls step back into this equity here. So we just simply, right back here, this nice big bullish engulfing candle on the weekly basis. That says that 465 should be your support level with inside of Hovnanian out there. That's at least there's another bullish candle right here this week of September the 13th. So, right inside this area is where you've got the bulls that are hanging out inside of this equity. As far as where the bears are hanging out, really we identified that out here with this down thrusting candle, and that was really confirmed right back here with this big bearish engulfing candle. So you got one bearish engulfing candle on the weekly here. You've got one right here on the trading session of March the 29th, and of course all of that is really matching up with this little overhead supply line that it's got. We'll put a black line across the screen so you can see how easily that is your resistance area. So in this case, Hovnanian, all that it's really doing is traveling in a little bit of a sideways consolidation here. And what that says to us, if we take a look at that consolidation, we'll call the consolidation pattern somewhere, I'd say about $5. We'll go, so let's go from $5 to that $6.50 level. So it's $1.50. Whichever way it breaks out. Now, in this case here, the breakout to the downside has to take out the low of April 19th, the 465, in order for that $1.50 to kick in. Otherwise, a break topside, which would mean getting over the resistance level, and that would be important resistance, and that's right in that 650 level. That would take you up to $7. That'll take you all the way back up to the highs out here on January 4th. But on the weekly chart, it's not suggesting jump in and buy necessarily, but your back is up against the wall with regard to support. So if you're looking to get in on this equity, know that you would want to go ahead and close it out if price closes below $4.65. I don't know at $4.65, and it's trading at $5.22. So what you've got about a 35, 45, 55. So you've got about a 55% risk maybe to make $1.50. Well, you got 3-to-1 odds on that. Hey, folks, it is Wonderful Wednesday. Thanks so much for being here. If you're off to start your day, have a fantastic day. Otherwise, I'll see you in a few when we do the Money Master Show. Take care, folks. What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi. I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.